Pick up your gear and open your chests. Throw on your armor and head out on a quest. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. On the Sword Coast, your allies will help with blades and bows and magic as well. Hey, hey, heroes on their way. Fighting forever against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, get you all out there. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions. From Waterdeep to Icelandale, head out the show, or Shadowfell, hey, hey. Together we stay. Walk to the monsters, walk to the boss, walk to the right, it's never a loss, hey, hey. Bad guys to slay. Fighting forever against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, get you all out there. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions.
Welcome to another Gaarawarr's Guide the Tutorial show. That means it's Saturday. And if it looks like I'm sweating a little bit, because it feels like I'm sweating a little bit, it's because the last moment I forgot that I hadn't gone to the fridge and gotten a root beer, so I ran in and ran back, and now the stream can start. That would have been a catastrophe. It would have been a catastrophe. All right. Today's topic is none other than Acquisitions Incorporated, specifically the Season 5 champions. The Season 5 champions, we're going to talk about them today. Omin, Evelyn, Jim, Vi, and Strix. So we are going to cover all 5 of these champions. We're also just going to talk about the season. Just the season. These champions are the reason for the season, but the season gives us lots of fun stuff to play with, and we're going to go over all of that today. Joining me, as always, in the production booth is Gabe. Everybody give Gabe a hand. Gabe will be in chat. Gabe will be grabbing questions, so if you have questions for me about the season, or about these champions, or about anything in regards to gameplay, and systems, how systems work, and idle champions, fire away. Gabe will grab it, just like Imaginal Disc did there. You put a question colon in front of it, like it shows down below, and like you could see Imaginal Disc did in chat. And Gabe's going to grab it, and he's going to throw it in this document, and then when I get to the second half of the stream, I'll answer them all. I will answer them all. So. I mean, I guess we can just start with an overview of the season, huh? Oh, God. I gotta tell you, folks, I went through and I updated, just so you know, all of the guides for these 5 champions are updated with their new abilities, and in a couple cases, new achievements. You can get that information over on the subreddit. If somebody wants to put the link in the chat, that'd be great, by the command. The only thing that isn't updated on all of them is like their level upgrades, but you know, that'll get there. That'll get there later this weekend. I've been a little too busy playing Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not even gonna lie, not even gonna try to hide it. That game is fantastic. And rocking out season 5 in the background. As you can see, since I'm already level 21. Whoops. I may have got a lot of stuff done already, folks. Let's talk. So if you want deep dive for a little more information, I'm going to go through. I'm going to add the level upgrades, and I'll add some notes on how to use them all. Probably Sunday. Sunday's probably when I'll have time to do that. But all the general information is there, so you can look to see how they've changed. So season 5, Acquisitions Incorporated. Now, Inc. is larger by one champion than this shows. Morgaine is also a member of Acquisitions Incorporated. CNE decided that currently these were the 5 that, we really had to have Omin and Jim get a rework for Inc. And then Vi was desperate for one. And then Evelyn and Strix have been showing up on the main stage shows at Inc. for a while now, for a couple of years. They added Evelyn Strix to the Inc. Affiliation tag in the last year or so because of that, and so they gave them a bit of a rework too. Morgaine was in a better position in terms of functionality. Morgaine is a solid functional support champion, so they went with everybody else here. And honestly, I feel like they did a good job. But we'll get to that in a moment. I want to point out, whenever you're doing season quests, they've got to see how this Inc. thing right here lights up. That's a button, folks. If you ever have questions about, like, where am I supposed to find this enemy? Like, where's the Mad Wizard, for instance, because you got to kill him 100 times for the seasonal quests. You can click this button. It will take you to a blog post. It'll have a little pop-up. It'll take you to a blog post. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it gives you a list of key enemies and where to find them. Now, sometimes it doesn't give you necessarily the easiest place to find them. So, as always, if you're like, well, if it says pop a time gate, ask the community if maybe there's somewhere that you can find them that doesn't require you opening a time gate. Just saying. Because sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't, and the community will let you know. That's what we're here for. All right, so every season you go up levels. I've gone up a bunch of them. It's 1,000 XP per level. That's just flat. That's the way it always works. So as you earn experience from doing quests, daily quests, seasonal quests, and milestone quests, you will go up levels. And as you go up levels, you'll also be rewarded with favor. The favor is just a mass conversion to every campaign once the season is over. You'll earn a lot of rewards. I've earned a good amount so far. And then they tell you right here how long it is until the season's over. Currently, 70 days is how long a season lasts. So we got about 67 left. Just about 67 left. They're also going to give you a preview of stuff. Like, hey, I'm going to get a feat soon. And then you could say, hey, get the season pass. Unlock exclusive rewards. We're going to talk about that in a bit. When we get to the rewards tab, we'll talk about the season pass. If I remember. So, daily quests are at the top. There's always 3 daily quests. Seasonal quests go in over here. I did them already. Every week, you get a new batch of seasonal quests. There will be 7 of them. As you can see, I completed 7 of them. Now, they'll be there forever. Like, until you do them. I did them all already, but just know that a seasonal quest, unlike a daily quests, if you don't do them before the refresh, they're lost to you. But seasonal quests, once they load in, they will be there forever. There's room for 10 in this dialogue box. And if you haven't done this, if you say you do 5, you have 5 left when in 4 days, 2 hours and 51 minutes, when it loads 7 more in. You'll only see the 5 of them show up, but the other 2 will be in a queue. They get loaded up into a queue. They're not lost to you either. As you finish seasonal quests, the queue will tick up and load in anything in the queue. So just know, even if you're running behind, or even if you're watching this 30 days from now, and you're like, oh, I've got a month of seasonal quests backed up. Did I lose them? No, they're in a queue. They just queue up, and as you complete the seasonals, they will load in. They won't be lost to you. Sometimes there have been seasonals in the past that people are like, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I can't get it to work, or I don't know where that is, or whatever. Don't worry. Again, as long as you could have 9 of them backed up and just be working on one at a time. It's really inefficient, but look, you can get stuff done, and the community is here to help you do all that kind of stuff. Just ask questions, please. All right. So seasonal quests, there's 7 of them every week, so there will be 70 total. There will be 210 total daily quests, because again, 70 days with 3 quests a day. That's quick maths. The milestone quests are a little different. They have tiers. There's 10 milestone quests, and they start at tier 1, and every time you complete one tier, you move up to the next tier, which basically means number go up. So right now I'm going to defeat 66,500 enemies who are affected by Strix's poor hygiene ability. When this completes tier 5, it goes up and it'll be a higher number than this. Same thing, just higher number. Okay. And this is important to note, as you can see. Jeez. Wow. I nailed my season formation, folks. Can you tell? I clearly built it right. Because I've got 5 of them done so far. Once you finish tier 10, you get this super satisfying check mark. I think it's a super satisfying check mark. I would prefer to gold star, but I'll take the check mark. It fits with the color scheme better. So 10 milestone quests with 10 tiers is a total of 100. They'll reward the same values, folks, no matter where we are. So daily quests are 200 XP apiece. There's favor rewards, but honestly, the favor rewards are interesting, but really what we're here about is that sweet XP. So 200 XP apiece for the daily quests, 400 for the seasonal quests. So more XP coming off these, but only 200 for each of these. All right. So if we do the math, God, I hate doing math on stream, but if we do the math, the largest amount of experience you can get is from doing your daily quests. There's 210 of them. Way more than any of these. 210. So 210 is 42,000 XP by just making sure you log in every day and just do these daily quests. They're usually not difficult. They're usually super straightforward. And if you get one that's like, oh God, I don't even know what's going on there, there's a reroll button. You can reroll a quest once. Once it's been rerolled, though, you got to go with whatever it came up with after that. So keep that in mind. I recommend if you're newer and you don't have all the season champions yet, and you're out of time gate pieces for some reason, if you see a daily quest for a champion you don't have yet, reroll it. There's your reroll target. And hopefully it goes to something that you can do. Because this is again, the bulk of the experience. And remember that 42,000 experience. Remember, 1,000 experience is a level in the season. It is a level. Every level, you get rewards. So that's 42 levels of rewards that you can get just from daily quests. Just from logging in each day, putting in a little work. Just, again, not even much. 200 areas in a free play. Trigger an ability to... These ones might be challenging because you might have to learn what this even means. But this stuff, super easy, right? All right. So, 42,000 here. That's the big bang. The 100 milestone quests at 200 piece, there's 20,000. So again, less than half of what this is, and yet this is a lot. This is a lot of stuff. And then seasonal quests, 70 of them, you get 28,000. Okay, so a little more over here. But the thing is, and what I want to really impress upon everyone, especially new players, like you are looking at an established account that has all the champions, and I'm somewhat good at building formations. Season quests come down to your ability to build formations and understand how these abilities work. Okay? It is these two things. Because your goal here is to build what I call a season farm formation. I'm not saying you actively have to farm it, but what I'm saying is you're going to want to build a formation that can get you progress towards as many things, if not everything, all at once. Even if it's maybe a slower progress for one, like you've seen. So these two, obviously, we're getting slower progress than these 5. Even if it's slower progress for one than the other, you're shooting for progress all the time. And then what you do is you build, once you get that figured out, and it's building the formation and figuring out, how each of these things trigger. You've got your 5 season formation champions you want in your formation all the time. Even when you're doing other stuff, pushing new adventures in a campaign, use the 5 season champions. Doing patron variants, try to use the 5 season champions. Gem farming, how about just farm your season stuff first? Honestly. So whatever you're doing, you should be able to, event comes up. We got an event coming up Wednesday with Astarion. I call him Astarion because he's always staring off into the distance instead of listening to me. Doing event unlock stuff, use your 5 season champions. If you do that, even as a brand new player, if you just consistently use these champions, you're going to consistently earn rewards that are going to give those champions gear and item levels and make them super carries for you as you're progressing through the season. It will let you finish stuff, and you will just passively end up clocking a lot of these quests out without having to actively go grind them. Okay, so really, until you're in the last couple weeks of the season, if you get to the last couple weeks and you have ones that don't seem to have been making much progress, that's when you can start a grind. Okay, but early on, obviously, I threw a formation in, it was sitting in Mad Wizard. This is what happened. So you can get a lot. Nowadays, it is very easy. I'm just really, if it sounds like I'm a broken record, I really want to repeat. Nowadays, it is very easy for you to get all this stuff done. Okay. We'll go over the specific quests and what we're looking at here in a bit, because I'm going to have to dig through the quest log for the seasonals. But let's talk about rewards. So again, every 1,000 experience you earn, you go up a level, and every level gets you rewards. Let's go to the start of the reward track. So you can see there's an upper track and a lower track here. The upper track is I think what we refer to as the free-to-play path. So you don't have to pay anything for this. You don't have to buy a season pass. You earn all the stuff on the top. All of it. I have not bought a season pass yet. If I click on this, it tells me it's just not doing anything. It says must have season pass. There you go. The bottom track is if you buy the season pass. So, free reward is available at each level. Purchase season pass to earn an additional reward at each level, and they're usually better. Not always. I mean, it's just subjective sometimes. Like right here, the day. Oh, I didn't claim this. We get a damaged skin. It's golden sparks. It's new for the season. That might have more value to some people than that's a big buff though. And I like big buffs, and I cannot lie. So you never know. But most of the time, usually the better reward is on the bottom. That's their encouragement for you to throw down a little cash, right? All earned unclaimed rewards. So like if I had forgotten to claim that click damage skin forever, automatically get claimed at the end of the season. Okay. Free to play path again on the top, pay to play path on the bottom. Let us go look at. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get there, am I? I can't get to. Can I get the? No, I can't get to the shop from here. All right, I'm gonna hop into an adventure. I want to show you what the pass looks like. There's two different types of passes this year, or this season, I should say. Let's just go away. All right. Season Pass has its own little thing over here on the far left. Ding! There's now Season Pass and Season Pass Plus. Sure. I was like, okay. So the Season Pass is $9.99 US. The client will adjust for your locality and your currency, of course, but it is based off basically $10 US. And you get a lot of stuff. This is just a smattering example of the things you're going to get. Now, I say you're going to get, but keep in mind, you have to do your daily quests to level up your season and earn the rewards. You do have to earn them, but I feel like it's if you're just doing like I said, if you're throwing those champions into the formation, you're going to get all the way through the 60 day. It feels like really easy to get all the way through the 60 days, or the 60 levels. Excuse me. It's not 60 days. It's all the way through the 60 levels of the basic rewards. What you do above and beyond that is up to you. But as long as you're playing regularly, you're getting your dailies. Again, the dailies will get you 42 levels, and then you only need to come up with 18 more levels. Super easy to do with everything that's left over, in my opinion. Really depends. If you're not a regular player, make your value case otherwise. But for $10, and we'll go through and you'll see everything that we're looking at. For $10, ridiculous amount of content that you get for $10. Ridiculous. Most skins in this game run $10. Let's see what's on discount right now. Is there anything? Oh, here's a skin. Normally $10. Normally $10. Normally $10. You getting the hint? Normally a skin pack is like $10 at minimum in this game. Familiars can be $10. They can be down to $5 sometimes. So you're getting with the season pass, as long as you put in some work, you're going to be getting 5 different skins. You're going to be getting multiple feats for all the champions. You're going to be getting lots of chests for all the champions, plus group chests. They have the season 5 chests. You're going to get a familiar, a little tiny gem familiar. You're going to get the first ever set of tanking pigments in the game. Tons of potions. Not to mention the season specific buffs that you're going to get to help you complete content, right? I've said it before. I know they've changed the way the rewards have been since season 1. Like every season they've changed a little bit. Still the best $10 you can spend on the game. The most efficient spend. Now the Season Pass Plus is new. This is the first time they've ever done this. Season Pass Plus. I can't even do this. Season Pass Plus is $20 US instead of the $10. And what it does is it says immediately earn the next 18 levels and their rewards. Basically, you get 3 6-level boosts. What is a 6-level boost? These are the normal boosts that you can get if you're looking at a reward path and you're like, oh, this is locked, but I want it right now. You can say view boost, and for $5, they'll give you 6,000 XP. So you earn the next 6 rewards. You go from 21 to 27. Plus, you get a bunch of favor. Like a bunch of favor, but whatever. Favor to me is like, it's the icing on an already delicious cake. So basically what the Season Pass Plus is doing is it's giving you 3 of those at the cost of 2. That's it. So it's buy 2, get 1 free on the boosts. You're getting the Season Pass, 2 boosts, and a free boost. If you're someone who was only going to buy like maybe 3 boosts this season, like if that's your budget, yay, guess what? Now this season you can buy 4 because you're going to get 1 free. Now, so a good value for you. If you're someone who is going to buy like 20 boosts, sure, probably not as much of a value for you. But free's free, folks. Can we talk about it's still $5 for free if you were going to do it anyway. So there's, subjective as to the value as always, but it's still a good value. I've bought so far every season. I've bought the season pass. I don't know that I'm going to buy this, but I will put in the time this way. Now, one of the things that it doesn't list here that we're going to get to, we'll come back to in a moment. There is an extra bonus to buying the season pass that is not listed on this screen. So let's go talk about the extra bonus. So again, every level you're going to get a reward, and we'll go over all these rewards in a moment. Every level you're going to get a reward, but this only goes up to 60. Level 60. After level 60, you go into bonus rewards. Bonus rewards. Now remember, we did a total. This is 60,000 XP. You get 42,000 from your dailies, 20,000 from your milestones. That already puts us over 60,000, right? And then another 28,000 from your seasonals. That's 30 levels beyond this. So what do you get if you do all of it? If you go all the way and you get every single quest done every day, you go into their new bonus rewards system. This is new. So after completing the season reward track, each additional season level earns you a bonus token. Redeem these tokens for bonus rewards. Here's the bonus for the season pass. You get double tokens if you have a season pass. This is the first time there's been a difference in bonus rewards from... this is the first time we've seen this. In the past, last season, they had a different track for season rewards, and you got basically 2 rewards. There was a reward every level on the season pass path, and only one every other level on the regular path for the free path. So instead, they're saying, hey, every level gets everyone a reward, but for season pass holders, you get 2. So they're still doing kind of the double for your progress, but it's a better double. Now, what's going to happen is once I get to 60, these 5 boxes are supposedly going to fill in with visual rewards. And if I come down here and I click redeem a token, 1 token, the chest opens. I will get one of those rewards. Or this pops up and fills this. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things. I don't have any bonus tokens, but I will get 1 reward per token. 1 reward per token. I can redeem 5 at once if I have a bunch. That's why there's an X5. If you have a bunch, you can do 5 at once, so you can just burn through it quickly. Fill them all in. Now, you are limited to one of 15 unique rewards per the token. And the way this works, before I click this button to view odds, is think of it as a grab bag. They have taken 15 rewards, they've thrown them in a bag, and they've shaken it up. And you reach in and you pull out a reward every time you redeem a token. But when you pull out the reward, it goes into a different bag until all 15 have been pulled. And then you pull out of that bag again. So it's the same 15 rewards on a cycle. And you're gonna earn them all. So remember, if you can potentially for free get all the way up to, on a free-to-play path, get 30 extra tokens. That means you will get all 15 of these rewards twice if you do everything. If you have the season pass, you could get all of them at least 4 times, plus a little extra because of those 3 boosts that you get. Or if you get the season pass plus, you would get the extra boost. So 4 times if on the season pass. All right. So here's what you're going to get. You get the season champion item levels. It says 5 unique rewards. Guess what? There's 5 champions. So each champion you're going to get a bunch of item levels for as a reward. Gems. There's going to be a couple different gem values as a reward. Modron component chests. 2 different sets of Modron component chests. The season chests, so you can gear up the champion. There'll be 2 of those. Blacksmithing contracts, they'll have 1 stack of those. Bounty contracts, 1 stack. Supply chests, 1 stack. Support pigments, so not just tanking pigments available this time around, but support pigments too in the bonus rewards. 1 set once you get to the end. Okay, and remember, you will cycle through these 15 rewards you will get them all. You'll get them all. Okay. And again, you can always buy a boost of 6, right? If you want. The other thing that you will earn during this season is buffs. Every so often along the rewards track, you're going to get to set certain levels. You can see them all listed here. You will get a buff. The buffs go all the way up to level 59. That's the last one. They look like they're small, but keep in mind, each one of these is a unique multiplier. So it's going to go and keep going and build up. By the time you get to the end, it's a solid boost to your progress. Seasons are the best time. Once you've gotten through some of these buffs, seasons are the best time to get progress because, once you've gotten down here, you've got a pretty sweet buff. And if you get the season pass, even bigger ones if you're using the season champions. So let's look at rewards. We're going to go through these real quick because we still got to cover all the champions and how to do quests. I'm going to be talking a lot. One of the things they do right away at the early start of the reward track is give you time gate pieces. That's because they want you to go unlock these season champions if you don't have them. They only give you 3, and you might be going, what? But during a season, the season champions, those 5 champions, are discounted to half price. So it only takes 3 time gate pieces to unlock a season champion. So they're going to give you a time gate piece here, a time gate piece, a champion there, and then another one right up here at level 13. That's 4 out of 5, which ain't bad. What they did is earlier this past week, they gave out one of the champions for free via the newsletter. Folks, if you're not signed up to the newsletter, main menu, click on newsletter, put a valid email address. You're gonna get stuff, and you're gonna like it. You're gonna get stuff, and you're gonna like it. Get it for free from the newsletter, please. We've got buffs. We've got season chests. This is what the season chests look like. This drops gear for any of the season champions. You got feats, right? These are the rare feats. There's going to be some epic ones on the bottom track. You get item levels. Now, one thing is important that you have to understand here because they don't really explain it this very well. It looks like, I'm just getting 50 item levels total. No. You're getting 50 item levels per item. This is actually 50 average item levels, which means it's a total of 300 item levels. That's a big deal, folks. Here's 25, so 150. You're gonna get skins. The skin theme for this season is Venture Casual, which is a play off the term venture capital, or VC, for funding businesses and startups. It's pretty great. You're gonna get champion specific chests. You get gems to spend on whatever you want. Here was an epic feat. We're just going to give you an example of this stuff. You can check it all out in here. It's just going to keep going. It's going to keep going. Every page is a new champion. Again, here's a click skin, click damage skin. So you swap this just like you swap anything else down here in the bottom left with a swippy swappy button. I can go from the snowball to the golden sparks. You get a potion of polish that's a shiny that you can put on any champion you want. The season pass does have the clone gym familiar. That's the little cutie that's going to be killing stuff on your screen. You get stacks of modern component chests on the season pass path. Again, as you can see, the really nicer stuff. Here's 600 levels, item levels on the season pass path. Wild stuff. You will get some modern component chests, even if you're doing free to play. What else we got? Anything special jump out? Oh yeah, Scales of Tiamat. Again, on the season pass path. 10,000 of them for your use anywhere you'd like. And then finally, the big reward on the season pass, the first ever tanking pigments. These double the health of your tank per pigment. Per pigment. So you put one on, it doubles. You put another one on, a different item, it doubles again. You keep doing that for all 6 items. That's the healthy tank. That's a very healthy tank. All right. Now let's talk about quests real quick. So when you're doing this, you want to build you want to build a formation based around your season champions and what the quests want. And I look first at what the milestones want. So the very specific ones are Strix is poor hygiene, so we're going to want Strix in. I come down, Omin's adventuring capital, we're going to want Omin in this formation. Vi's I'm too old for this stuff. Vi's going to be in the formation. We come down over here. Jim's Magical Mystery Tour. Jim needs to be in the formation. So the only one that doesn't show up in milestones is Evelyn. Evelyn also doesn't show up in milestones or to show up in the seasonal quests for this first set. She is in the rotation for dailies, though, so keep that in mind. So you are going to need all 5 of these season champions put in a formation. Why not, right? So let's go ahead and throw everybody out here. Boom. Evelyn is a tank. Omin and Vi are supports with some extra stuff. Strix and Jim are DPS supports. So they can fight for who's going to be your DPS, although it probably should be Jim. It should be Jim. Jim's... These are skins, in case you don't recognize everybody, but get used to seeing lots of skins with Jim now. When we're building these formations, we want to make sure we're basically throwing all of these people in and making sure that their abilities are going to activate so that we can get credit for it. All the rest of this is pretty straightforward. Milestone, you need to do a bunch of areas with either an Akink or C team champion as your bud setting champion. This means either Jim or Strix. Ideally, you're going to want to focus this around this, and Jim is Akink, Strix is C team and Akink. You can find it right here. Oh no, Waffle Crew and Akink. C team would be Rosie. Excuse me. Rosie isn't in this season, so you don't have to worry about that. Poor Rosie. One day. Justice for Rosie. Level up Akink or C team champions. I don't know why they didn't throw some of the Waffle Crew in here too, but it's because it's Akink and it's in there in the C team. And they're in the C team. C team is part of Acquisitions Incorporated. It's just the main Akink crew is the A team, and then they're the C team. Spawn a bunch of enemies with their ability. That's going to happen, right? Complete a bunch of free plays. Well, look, if you weren't doing free plays on a fairly regular basis, maybe just 1 or 2 a day already, you might want to start. So just a standard gem farm in Mad Wizard, which is what I set up here. We'll get these kinds of things done. I tend to, when I go to bed at night, I turn off my computer. That means my client gets shut down. Makes sense, but I'm just going to state it. So I put in my season farm formation before I go to bed. And then I get a lot of this progress. Honestly, the vast majority of this progress comes while I'm offline. So all of this stuff gains progress offline. Defeat a bunch of enemies with at least 5 Akink or C Team Champions of Formation. Again, I already built that formation. It's got 5. Use the ultimates. If you're doing this AFK, this means you need some familiars. Now, even if you only have 1 familiar, you can set the familiar on the roaming ultimate bar, which is... Hold on. I gotta level somebody up here. That's not high enough, apparently. Okay. So once the ultimate shows up, the roaming familiar bar is the one on top. And it will move around, and it will just hit it every now and then. Okay. So you can get credit for that way. Super easy. This is a gym thing, and then complete a bunch of areas in any adventure with a patron active. This does not mean that you have to use your Akink team to do this. In fact, I have a lot of progress, and this is not a patron version of Mad Wizard. I just use my background parties for that. I don't know why that stopped, but figure that out later. I use my background parties for that, and most importantly, I have Strongheart in a background party. Strongheart is not one of this 5 season champions, but Strongheart is a season champion because Strongheart gives credit, extra credit, for season quests, as long as he's in any party. So you're going to want to park him in a background party because he shares a slot with Strix, and you want Strix in your main party, in my opinion. So, one of the reasons I flew through this is not only do I have Strongheart, who normally would give you double credit, but I have his feat, so I get triple credit. So I finished stuff 3 times as fast as I normally would because Strongheart. Because Strongheart. True unheaded. No, there is a loaded formation. I don't know why it didn't load it. That's the problem. Okay, we'll go back to that later. Again, I'll figure that out later. Main party, we're just going to build out like this. Now, what I like to do from this point, again, There wasn't anything else that required any other champions. I already had Evelyn. I just need to do stuff. And then if I look over here for the seasonals, hey, look, it's a gym ability. Great. It's an Omen ability. Already got them in. At least 3 Ak Ink. Well, I got 5. A bunch of free plays. Hey, I was doing that for the milestones anyway. A bunch of enemies. Doing that for milestones anyway. Complete 6 daily quests. I'm doing that anyway because I want the XP. Then there's Defeat the Mad Wizard. This is Defeat X Monster. Again, I'm in Mad Wizard. Guess where the Mad Wizard is, folks? Guess where the Mad Wizard is you have to defeat. He's in Mad Wizard. It's pretty straightforward. There are some other places in the game he shows up, but why not gem farm while you're getting your season farm on? So once you build out a good formation, you can start cruising through this. And if you end up with something that's like one daily quest I had was do 500 areas with a fighter. Well, there isn't a fighter in this group. So one of my extra slots here, I just threw a fighter in for 500 levels, and then I changed my formation back after that. You can build your base formation and then adjust around it. Now, I threw these in, and then I threw in speed champions. I specifically went for like Human just to race through a bunch of levels quickly. I went for Whittle and Virgil for attack speed, because that's actually a key to one of Omin's things and one of Jim's things. So you'll note both the attack speed modifiers are next to both Jim and Omin. That's what raced me through credit. And then I'm pretty sure I threw like Desmond in the back for one of these, and then Cathris in the back for another one. You can fill that extra slot however you'd like, but there are reasons why you might fill them with specific people. Okay, so we're going to dive into each of these champions. Used the bulk of my time already. This is going to be quick. All right. Let's talk about Jim. Jim is the kind of cornerstone of Ak Inc. He is the CEO and founder. Appropriate intervention, melee attack. Omin smashes the nearest enemy with his maul, but he's healing, support, and gold, so, you know, that's fine. Male half-elf cleric, lawful neutral. Here's the list of the current Ak Inc. Champions, if you want to know. If you're trying to figure out how to get 5 of them in your formation, there you go. Champion of Tymora is the core of Omin's kit. It was before, it still is, but it works differently now. In fact, it's easier now. Omin recruits adjacent champions, is how it starts off, to be champions of Tymora. So this means you want Omin adjacent to a bunch of other people, because he's going to make them champions of Tymora. This increases their damage by a large amount. So this means you want Omin next to your DPS as baseline. You want Omin next to your DPS. Omin himself is also a champion of Tymora. Now there was some extra stuff here. We'll get back to that with it because it gets modified by other abilities. So we'll deal with that as we go. Second ability, Adventuring Capital. This is the gold find ability. Omin increases the party's gold find by 1% each time a champion of Tymora attacks an enemy, stacking additively. This is why you want some attack speed in your Omin formation, because you want to build up adventuring capital. The more champions of Tymora, which is Omin and anyone adjacent to them, attack, the more gold find you get. So Omin, because of this, you want Omin in at the start of your run and leveled up to 50 as quickly as possible, because you want him racking up those stacks. It is fantastic on solid pushes. It might not be a big a deal on, like speed runs or something, but on like the deeper pushes, I mean, I know it says additively, which is usually not the good way, but folks, it gets ridiculous. Known associates, so champions who are affiliated with Ak Inc. and or the C team also become champions of Tymora. They don't have to be adjacent to Omin. Anywhere they are in the formation, they're a champion of Tymora. And they recruit champions adjacent to them as well. This means with the right number of Ak Inc. and C team champions, any formation can be full of champions of Tymora. And this is going to be important. Okay? Light of Tymora. Champions of Tymora are healed for an amount every second. So, as long as if you want to make sure you're spreading this through the formation, you're hitting those tanks, they're going to get heals constantly. Constantly. Spec choices have changed. Now, you'll notice for the people who've been around, the Shadow Council has retreated into the shadows. They don't like being quite so visible, so you won't see them referenced anymore. We've got 3 new specs. Form ranks, favored friends, or long-term investments. Form ranks, Omin increases the effect of Champion of Tymora by 50% for each Champion of Tymora in the formation, stacking multiplicatively. That means we want to trigger Champion of Tymora everywhere because we get a multiplicatively stacking boost. Those are the good ones. Those are the good ones. Now, granted, it's going to cap at 10, but take them when you can get them, folks. Favorite Friends does the same thing. It increases the effect of Champion of Tymora, but by 100%. But it does it for each A-Ink and or C-Team champion in the formation. Still stacks multiplicatively. So right now I've got 5 in. Obviously, I would want to go Favored Friends. That's going to be the bigger boost because it's 100% per stack instead of 50. But if you're not, so this is the A-Ink / C-Team spec. This is the general spec. Long-term investments is potentially for that deep, long, timely push. Omin increases the effect of Champion Tymora by 1% for every 10 stacks of adventuring capital, stacking additively. This is a slow burn. They named it right. Long-term investments. You're going to want to be going deep, and you're going to like super deep, and you're going to want to have a attack speed formation with everyone being a Champion of Tymora. So you can build this up. Huge. Okay, that's the only. It is a small window of opportunity. It means what it says. Long-term investments. You have to go for a long time to really make this beat these. All right, I'm going to go Favored Friends here because this is an A-Ink formation. All right, let's park a familiar. Now, on to the good part. The effect, well-funded. The effect of Champion of Tymora, remember that's the buff that everything's been buffing so far, is increased yet again by 20% for each order of magnitude of gold you have in the current adventure, and it stacks multiplicatively. That's not good. Hey. Omin is buffing himself by building your gold find and multiplicatively stacking those orders of magnitude of gold find into damage. Into damage. Orders of magnitude are the number after the E in scientific notation. So right now, I'm sitting at 86 stacks. 86 multiplicative stacks. I'm on level 4, but I have a lot of favor here. This is ridiculous, folks. This Champion of Tymora becomes huge because everything feeds into Champion of Tymora. Again, we're right here. I haven't even gone very far. I haven't earned much gold. I haven't attacked a lot. I'm already in an E17 buff. The other day, I tabbed over here and I looked at it while I was pushing a few hundreds of levels into a run, and it was in the E40s. Champion of Tymora is huge if you build everything right, okay? Because everything feeds into it. Wild stuff, wild stuff. The ultimate is the same. It's Spirit Guardians. Look at them. They're spirits and they're guarding things. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Because we don't have the time. Items. Damage all champions. We get Adventuring Capital. Woo! Gold Find. Champion of Tymora. Thank you. Light of Tymora. That's the healing. Ultimate attack down, damage, ultimate cooldown. And then the feats just fill all this off. So, damage all champions, gold. There's Champion of Tymora. Hey, you might want that in. Adventuring Capital. Big gold numbers? Yes, please. There's a healing feat. Well-funded? Sure. And he's got specialization feats. Now, remember, this is a big deal because those specializations are multiplicatively stacking. So I haven't unlocked these yet. If they're pre-stack multipliers, get them in. That's the good way. We love the pre-stack multipliers. All right, let's talk about Jim next. We're going to go to Jim next because Jim was there from the beginning. So James Winifred Dark Magic, aka Jim. Jim shoots magic missiles. It's a magic base attack. Two magic missiles, one per wand. Jim is a male human wizard, chaotic neutral, DPS support and gold. So Jim's now a gold find champion as well. They now have a passive that tells you how you get the Heidi box. This is part of his achievement, and people didn't always know what the hell it even meant. Hold on, let me turn progress on. Heidi box. Whenever the formation is under attack, Jim hides in a small protective, meaning cardboard, box, and fires twice as many magic missiles when he attacks. That's all it is. You get more wave clear when when enemies start building up on the formation. Fan club. This is a big deal ability now. This increases the damage of Jim and everyone in the column in front of and behind him by a large amount affected by item levels, stacking multiplicatively. Jim gets a multiplicatively stacking buff based off champions in the columns in front of and behind him. And he has an item that specifically calls out that it buffs the pre-stack value. This is the OP way. Jim has become Slayer of Worlds. Jim's numbers, again, like Omin's, can get ridiculous. Now, this means Jim can now be a primary DPS for you. But for those of you who are still riding the Artemis train, this is a positional formation ability. And it's got a pre-stack. It's multiplicatively stacking with a pre-stack multiplier. So you're welcome, I guess. Wand of Wonder is still here. It's been altered a little bit to be a little more wonderful for most of us. Some people might be annoyed with it, but I'm here for it. Every 10 attacks instead of 5, Jim uses the Wand of Wonder. So attack speed is important for Jim because it means more Wand of Wonder use. So this we have before we had 2 polymorphs, a slow and a stun, and something else. Or maybe that was it. I think that was it. So now there's 5 effects, 3 of which are polymorphs. So we turn a random enemy into a large warty toad. It stuns it for 5 seconds, then slows it for 10 seconds after the stun wears off. Same health it always had, though. Okay. Next one, turn a random enemy into abyssal chicken, like before, except now it caps the health reduction. It reduces it to its max health by 5 orders of magnitude. So EO5 of its health. The least it can get to is 10. So you can still use Jimothy stuff to push deeper than you could before. You just can't go from like 800 to 2000. Like, no. Turns a random enemy into a mimic. We had that before. 5 armored hit points, drops 10 times the normal gold. Now we have 2 new effects, and they're fun as hell. A random ally is assigned one of their skins at random until you change areas. I'm going to sit on this level now because we got Wonder going. He's just like, I think you'd look better in this. And you become you're wearing a different skin. You don't even have to own it. So welcome to getting to see all the skins in the game. Because you don't even have to own them. Jim will throw them on everyone. And then the last one is Jim. This is his gold find. Jim shoots a line of gold coins out across the field, dealing damage to all enemies in a line. So this is some wave clear action right here. And dropping 1 enemy's worth of gold just from the coins. Oh, look. See? Jim said, hey, Omin, you'd look better as a masked Lord of Waterdeep. and he does. Yeah. So Jim will do a lot of different magic effects. And when his Wand of Wonder pops off, it's a different animation. It'll even show a different base attack. There it goes. I don't know what it did, but there it went. I missed it. So Wand of Wonder does stuff. So transfer polymorphs, 3 different polymorphs, and then 2 fun things going on. Obviously, you can't polymorph a boss or a special type of enemy. Jim's Magical Mystery Tour. This is the effective fan club gets buffed. It's 4% each time an enemy, ally, or allies' equipment is polymorphed or transformed in some way. Now remember, Wand of Wonder polymorphs 3 out of 5 of the abilities. So he can feed himself in this way. Now he does change people's outfits. That does not count for this. It is polymorphed. Transformed is referring to someone else I'll mention in a second. So other polymorphs, remember, says enemy, ally, or allies' equipment. Allies' equipment, it can be another polymorph. Strix, we'll get to her in a bit, but Strix polymorphs her staff into different things with her ultimate. This counts for Jim's Magical Mystery Tour. So that's one way you can build up stacks. Jim will build stacks on his own. The other way, the transforming, no, this is not a hint at the Transformers crossover, even though I'm here for it. The transforming is the aforementioned reference I made to Desmond. Desmond's ultimate transforms him into a werewolf. So champions who transform themselves into other things, like Desmond's werewolf via the ultimate, or Fenn turning into whatever Fenn turns into that's freaky and scary and flies across the field with her ultimate, those count for Magical Mystery Tour. This stacks multiplicatively. That's the good way. Up to 100 times. Now, it does reset on changing an area, but still, that means as you're getting deeper into your runs and it's taking longer to clear your areas, you're going to start building up these multiplicatively stacking boosts. Yes, Azaka counts too. Azaka into the Were-Tiger. You're going to have to test the others out, folks. I know that were-folk transformations count for sure. I have not tested Wild Shape, but you can try that. There's a few of those that are out there. So, Magical Mystery Tour. That's how you build up the stacks. That's how you build up Magical Mystery Tour stacks. Specializations. We have Dark Magic Cheer Squad, Magic, and unpaid extras. So this used to be an ability, now it's a specialization, and I like it better here. Just going to be honest. Dark Magic Cheer Squad increases the effective fan club. You'll note this number is huge. This number is huge because Jim just decided to have item support for specializations. Yay. So these values are going to change as you get items, and your usage of them might change because, you get some big buffs here. Magic. So this is a straight up fan club buff. Magic. Increase the damage of all champions whose base attacks are magic by 100% for each champion whose base attacks are magic in the formation, stacking multiplicatively. So if you're going all in on magic base attack champions, you might have an Alcoria in there too to get that synergy. This is potentially where you're going because it's multiplicatively stacking. Unpaid extra, or if you just have a few of them, they can get bigger than this at a certain point. Unpaid extras increases the effective fan club by an amount. All members of AC Inc. and the C team in the formation join Jim's fan club. That's a big deal, regardless of their position in the formation. Why is this a big deal? Remember, Jim's fan club is just kind of himself, and the people in the columns in front of or behind him. So if you decide to put non-AC Inc. and the C team people in front of behind him, and then fill all the other in with AC Inc. and C team, you can get a full formation in the fan club, multiplicatively stacking boosts. We're going with that one. This isn't the ideal setup for that, but that's what I would be trying to build around personally. But use whichever one's going to work best for you in your formation. Do we have anything else? Yes, Fashion Week. Jim's become a fashionista, folks. The effective fan club is increased by 200% for each champion with a non-base skin equipped in the formation, stacking additively. If you've unlocked lots of skins, just make sure everyone's in one. If you haven't, remember, he changes people. Look, now Omin's wearing his Venture Capital skin, or Venture Casual, so is Evelyn. Jim's going to change their outfits for you, so you'll get some free bonuses there. The ultimate is the same. It's just, hi, Sparks, and then Jim with the smoke. Same as it ever was. Except now that gem tends to stand around once it's got forever. Oh my god. I gotta fix that. It's just there forever. That's a bug. Increase the damage of all champions item. Again, pre-stack multiplier for the fan club. I have to guild this ASAP. This is the big item now. Magical Mystery Tour, the specializations, ultimate attack and ultimate cooldown. The feats, damage all champions gold, self-damage. These are the specializations. Practice magic. You can boost the specializations with a feat. You can boost fan club with feats. You can boost Magical Mystery Tour with feats. Again, lots of really solid specializations going on. Oh boy, we're behind. It's a lot going on this season, folks. All right, let's talk about Vi. Vi is now viable with this with this season adjustment, even though she's bored now. Female known artificer, neutral good. She has support gold and speed. Her speed actually works now, folks. Her speed actually works. Well, it worked before, but it just wasn't that great. All right. So let's talk about Vi, baby. Good example. This is what her buff always was before. So she just got some minor. She got some minor changes. So it's still buffing neutral champions damage, neutral on the good and evil axis. Not neutral on the lawful chaotic axis. 300% for each good acquisitions equal C-team champion in the formation, stacking multiplicatively. Yet again, here's more fun multiplicatively stacking bonuses, right? Catch and release remains the same. Instead of a base attack with her pistol, there's a 10% chance Vi takes out her comically oversized blunderbuss and fires it at a random normal enemy. This instantaneously transforms, that's another stack for Jim, the enemy into a small glowing crystal sphere that has 1% of a normal enemy's health and is worth an additional amount of gold when defeated. When you change an area, any remaining spheres you didn't kill are automatically killed and the gold from them is collected. This is her gold find boost ability. Okay? And again, it's a transformation for Jim. I want to make it very clear, because of an ability we're about to get to, she does not attack unless you are past your speedrun portion of your adventure. You need to be somewhere where there's lots of enemies on the screen for her to be attacking. That is how Vi works. So if you want to get catch and release to work, you need to be going deeper. That's the only time you're going to see these. Okay. Now, I'm too old for this. If there are 5 or fewer enemies on the screen, Vi waits impatiently instead of attacking with her base attack. Okay, that's why she's bored. She's just waiting. There is a % chance that the second monster in each wave will spawn alongside the first one. Now, once you hit 100%, there is another chance. There is an additional chance to spawn an extra monster. Okay, this has been confirmed. Currently, there is no cap to the items support on this, but there will be one. So don't start going crazy with it. Because a wave at max, the max is supposed to be a total of 5 enemies spawning at once. Because the most you can get is on a boss level. The first wave is 5 enemies. Okay, but normally waves on regular levels only go from 1 to 3 enemies. So this is not some wild, crazy, different version of Mel for Tatiana we're talking about here. This is a much better speed ability than she ever had before, but it is a managed speed ability. All right. I can't get no satisfaction. Vi is a member of the Rolling Stones now. Vi gains 1 sass stack for each second she spends impatiently waiting. So, it's actually good that she's bored. You're going to build sass stacks when she's bored. So the longer you can push in any adventure and she isn't attacking, this gets buffed. So, a good example gets increased by a tiny little % for each sass stack, but it stacks multiplicatively. That's the good way. SAS stacks are capped at 10 times the highest area unlocked in the current adventure. So you're going to want to go real deep. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to have her in from the beginning. I know I just said you want to push super deep with her. And I think you do. I think you just throw her in and you use her that way. But if you get to an end of a run and you've pushed like, I don't know, 1,500 levels, and then you're like, you know what? I want to see what Vi does. You can just take Vi back. You go back to level 1, throw Vi in, go AFK for a while, let her build up her SAS, let her cap out her SAS stacks, and then start pushing again. It's not the most efficient use of her time, but it is possible. So keep that in mind. Specialization choices, we get Bless Their Hearts, Positive Reinforcement, and a Nudge in the Right Direction. These first two change her Good Example buff. So again, normally she only wants to work with neutral DPS champions, but you can Bless Their Hearts for her to work with a good or for evil champions. You can do Positive Reinforcement for good champions. So you can adjust her now to fit whatever DPS you're using. So we're using Jim. Jim is chaotic neutral, so he's already benefiting from Vi. But if we wanted Strix as our DPS, we would switch her over to good. We would use Positive Reinforcement. Okay. Now, if we're already correct, we're already on the right thing, then we go a Nudge in the right direction. It just boosts a Good Example, and we're already correct already. So we're going to do that over here. All right. Arcane Cannon. Her ultimate works the same way, and her ultimate has she has a new achievement based around her ultimate. I'm not exactly sure why they changed her achievement, I'll be honest. Where's it at? Oh, stop. Oh, I hit. Now I know. I'm like, why is it loading all this stuff in? And now I know why now. I accidentally loaded a formation. This is what happens when you hit the wrong button, folks. Hold on. Let me get all of these hangers on out of this formation. They just want to hang out with the cool kids. All right. Back we go. All right. We have a new achievement. I'm going to call this out because it's a little annoying. Itchy Trigger Finger. Trigger the secondary effect of Vi's Arcane Cannon within 5 seconds of the ultimate expiring 25 times. There's two ways to do this. You can either manual play it and fire that all and do this 25 times, or you can AFK. And I don't know. If you're like me, you might want to AFK it. It's not guaranteed when you're AFK. But if you go AFK, just on you can park on a level if you want. AFK like this, you're going to need one familiar and you're going to park it on the roaming ultimate. And what's going to happen is familiar on your roaming ultimate bar will press a button every 30 seconds. Vi's ultimate goes through a 30-second cycle. If it times it right and your game doesn't lag out, what will happen is the familiar will hit the ultimate, and then the ultimate will cycle through 29 seconds, and then the familiar will hit the ultimate again, and it'll pop that cockatrice, and you'll get credit for the achievement. Okay? So like right now, the familiar is going to pop the ultimate. Now, it's going to start cycling, and you'll see this green timer ticking down. And what you want to do is when it's, right here in the red, and it's almost about to run out, is you want to hit that ultimate again. Now, ideally, the familiar is going to do it for us. I'm at 18 credit. In practice, I find it works most of the time, but not all the time. It didn't. Actually, I would say some of the time and not all the time. Yeah, I didn't get credit. But that is a way you can do this AFK. Now, again, I recommend you being fully AFK for that, because as you just saw, it doesn't necessarily do it all the time. And if you're sitting there watching it, you're just going to get frustrated. But if you're going to step away and you're like, I just want to get this done, it needs to be in an active party, and you just park a familiar in that roaming ultimate bar, you will eventually. Again, I got 18 of them. I only did one of those manually on stream. The rest got just AFK. So you can do it. I believe in you. All right, that's Vi's ultimate. Item levels, damage all champions, a good example. That's her main buff. Catch and release. This is the gold find boost. I'm too old for this. This boosts the speed. It will have a cap. They said it was a bug that it doesn't have the cap showing. It will have a cap. Ultimate attack damage, ultimate cooldown, speed, all or feats, all the kinds of things you would want. The good example, catch and release for the gold find. There's the speed feat. How often you can get? There's a feat that changes how often. There's 2 feats that change how often she triggers catch and release. So it starts off at a 10% rate. If you put both of the feats in, you'll get up to 30%. So 1 out of every 3 will turn into those spheres, which is, again, great for building magical mystery stacks. All right, on to Evelyn, who's our tank. Evelyn, female human paladin of Lathander. Praise Lathander. Tanking support. She is a member of the Waffle Crew. That is Evelyn, Paulton, and Strix. Base attack is her Mighty Axe. And her ultimate is Fine Steed. None of this has changed. Most of Evelyn's kit hasn't changed. What's changed is that she's gotten better at tanking at your wall. And that's what she needed. She was always a workhorse. She was always solid. But she never really shined in the light of Lathander. And now she does that better. So, Divine Prayer stays the same. It's the core of her kit. It buffs everyone behind her. Channel Divinity is the same every time an enemy. Every time she attacks an enemy, she buffs Divine Prayer. Except it got this bonus. If the enemy had a debuff, the effect gets quadrupled. So Evelyn now works better with debuffs. Who does the debuffs? Strix. Okay, so Strix debuffs them, Evelyn hits them, and you get a bigger buff. So there's synergy there. Steadfast Might. This is the nice new effect. Increases the effect of Divine Prayer by 100% multiplied by the highest number of enemies that Evelyn has tanked at once in the current area, plus the highest enemy and rage stack in the current area. This is her big new tanking buff. Okay. Font of Heroism was missing on release day, but it's back. That's her health share. Conduit of Light, same as she increases Divine Prayer if she gets a heal. Lathander's Grace is new. She's now fully in Lathander's Light. Every champion in the formation grants Evelyn Grace stacks for every 100 levels above their last unlockable upgrade that they are leveled. So this is for people who have lots of favor and can overlevel champions. Each Grace stack increases the effect of Divine Prayer by 100% and it stacks multiplicatively. But champions can contribute at most 1 Grace stack for every 400 areas completed in the current adventure, so it is limited. So that means if you've gotten to 1200, each champion could have 3 Grace stacks each. That could be a total of 30? Yeah, 30 Grace stacks. Each of them multiplicatively stacking. So, another nice new buff. Specializations, we've got Mom Arm, as always. Hold on, let me fix captions. The Fighting Style Protection, aka Mom Arm, is still there. So after an ally of Evelyn is attacked by an enemy, it buffs Divine Prayer. Compel Duel is after Evelyn is attacked by an enemy, it buffs Divine Prayer. So Compel Duel is when she's the only tank. And when there's 2 tanks, you could go either one. If there's 3 tanks, go Fighting Style Protection. If the entire party is being attacked by AoE enemies, go Fighting Style Protection. Okay, that's how you decide. Lathander's Allies is the effect of the bonus upgrades granted by Lathander's Grace. Is increased by 10%, which stacks additively but applies multiplicatively, for each Akink, C-Team, or Waffle Crew champion in the formation. They do not give you a counter down here, but no, this is another nice bonus. I'm actually going to go for that one. Another nice bonus to Evelyn if you're using her in these groups. I think that's it. Yeah. So her itemizations stay the same. She's got damage all champions, Divine Prayer, because everything feeds in Divine Prayer, and then health. Ultimate attack, ultimate cooldown. Under feats, all of the regular feats, health, overwhelm that you get for tanking. Again, Divine Prayer, but then we also get Channel Divinity, Lathander's Grace, and she does have a feat that qualifies her for Strahd. Okay. And now on to Strix, the last member. Taking so long to do this. Fireball is the normal base attack. Her base attack will change with her ultimate, which is Polymorph Staff. Here's Evelyn's ultimate. Boom! Steed! Boom! Kills things. And back. Oh god, she's in the worst skin. Oh, it's horrible. It scares the hell out of me. I mean, it's great, but it's scary as hell. Whenever you pop Strix's ultimate, and you were going to want to do that with Strix, she polymorphs her staff into something else. So now it's a flying broom. But every different polymorph increases her damage. So, or changes how her damage functions. So you're going to want to do that. All right. I believe it's now a Bud-based DPS. They need to clear that up when she does that. Okay. Strix has mostly remained the same, but gotten better. She's a female tiefling sorcerer, aka Trash Witch, chaotic good, DPS, and support. Aura of Unclean was her big deal. It's her debuff. It increases damage of all champions that are not... oh no, this is new. Never mind. It's the Poor Hygiene that's a debuff. This is Aura of Unclean is the new just general purpose support buff. It increases damage of all champions that are not adjacent to Strix by an amount because she smells and she distracts people. It increases damage dealt by Strix for the same amount, but for each champion affected, stacking additively. So you want Strix next to as few people as possible, and definitely not your DPS. That's what's going on here. Haunted, this increases damage of all champions for every champion death in the formation while Strix is in it. So the more you die, you can farm this near your wall. You can just kill enemies off or kill champions off over and over and reset the levels. You'll build up a bunch of haunted stacks. Go for it. Death Ward. So this got a little bit better. If an ally within 2 spaces of Strix is about to be killed, Strix instead loses half of her health and the ally regains half of their health. And then they're immune to damage, all damage for 10 seconds. This can only trigger once every 30 seconds, but it now also adds 5 stacks to Haunted, so it's a good way to build up Haunted. Just make sure she's within 2 of your tank line, is basically what they're saying. While this ability is on cooldown, it buffs Aura of Unclean, so it's all kinds of new buffs on Death Ward, which is nice. Poor Hygiene was the debuff. This was the main thing before, and it's still a solid thing now. Enemies that approach the party, and it starts off within like 50% of the distance from the formation to where enemies appear, take a bunch more damage. Now, about the baseline is 50%, and it's about right here. That's where it always was before. But now we can affect that percentage. And we can now affect it to stretch it all the way to the right side of the screen, which we never could before. That was her big downfall. We do that through the power of friendship. And nose plugs. The radius of Poor Hygiene is increased by 20%, stacking additively, then applying multiplicatively. And the damage bonus is increased by 400%, stacking multiplicatively, for each other Akink, C-Team, or Waffle Crew champion in the formation. So we can stretch this, again, all the way over. And if we look at our enemies as they load in over here, you will see they have a unique green odor on them already. This is all it took, folks. I just had to get these 5 champions in my formation, and that debuff is going all the way to the wall. From the windows... No, wrong type of stream. So it's a big deal now. That was always a big limiter, and now that limiter is gone. Specializations, olfactory for fatigue, scent of brimstone, smelly lunch. So the first one, the base damage bonus effect of the power of friendship is increased by 100%. Now remember, the base damage of it, and that's a multiplicatively stacking effect. Scent of brimstone, this buffs Aura of Unclean, but for each tiefling in the formation. That's new and cool. And then smelly lunch still buffs that debuff. So if you're still all about that debuff game, you go smelly lunch. I'm all about the power of friendship. And nose plugs. All right, item-wise, it's just straight up buffs all across the board. Aura of Unclean, Haunted. Oh, there's the damage of all champions items. That's odd. Poor Hygiene, so there's the debuff. Hey, the damage of Strix while one of her ultimates is active. And then cooldown reduction. Feat-wise, all the general stuff. Poor Hygiene we had before. You've still got a full set of those. Close Call can increase the bonus damage granted to Aura of Unclean while Death Ward is on its cooldown, which is a very specific thing, but it's there. More Aura of Unclean, Haunted, Power of Friendship, and Nose Plugs. This is where I would probably go. I just haven't unlocked them yet. And that is all. That is all, folks. God. Okay. I need a moment to get my voice back. We're gonna listen to a little song. Did I forget anything? We did the buffs. You can look at all the quest logs. I think we're good. Someone will remind me. We have a lot of questions, and I appreciate it. We got 24 questions, so we're going straight into the lightning round right after this musical interlude. And the song is From the Desk of Omin Drawn #ad.
Started out with a simple tune, friendly and saccharine like a cartoon. Let the listener have no doubt, they need to feel the fear of missing out. We'll inspire them with epic riffs and emotional music gifts. Rouse your feelings toward our cause and our ad with arousing applause. And then the hook should be big and strong and catchy to distract them from noticing we're sketchy. We'll chord shift on the chorus to make the room adore us. There's more for us when we swindle their trust. On a customer recruitment run, 'cause our old clients are all out of funds. Avoid talking about any deals, we just want to give them the feels. And then the hook should be big and strong and catchy. Distract them from noticing we're sketchy. Do a chord shift on the chorus to make the room adore us. There's more for us when we swindle their trust. Take it down to a minor scale, demonstrate the ways our rivals fail. This song is a testament to our return on investment. And then the finale is soft and calm and nurturing, so they won't realize just how much they're purchasing. Try to keep it soft and sweet and gentle. Coerce these fools with something sentimental. Appeal to their greed, make them think it's our sweet need. Then we'll get tamer for the final disclaimer. There's more for us when we swindle their trust.
Yeah, okay, well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I love that Jerry kicked in. Jerry helped write this song with us. Omin Drawn himself. And he kicks it out. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Which means it was amazing. All right, folks, we're going to head into these 24 questions, which means it's lightning round because there's only like 30 minutes left. I did want to point something out. It's a very limited thing. If you play the game on Steam only, the platform Steam, on Monday, September the 4th, if you log in Monday, September the 4th and or after, you get, like for a week, you get all 5 of the season champions, plus an early unlock for Astarion, or Astarion, however his name is pronounced, who is the next newest event champion coming Wednesday, the 6th. Plus 10 gold chests for each of them, a shiny for each of them, a couple week-long potions, and an exclusive familiar, but that is Steam only. All that stuff coming on Steam. They bounce these giveaways usually between Steam and Epic primarily, because those are really the only two platforms that want to give away free stuff. The others they've tried, and they're like, no. Why would we give things away for free that people can buy from us? So, Steam right now. All right, diving into the questions. Imaginal Disc got the first one in. It took ages to finish Jim's Magical Mystery Tour. Well, I mean, if it's already done and we're 4 days in, I mean, it didn't take that long. I used Jim, Evelyn, and Vi, sure. Was there any other champions I missed I could have used to complete this? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm the Kool-Aid man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, anyone that has a transformation. So, again, I used Desmond. I just threw Desmond in the back of this formation, and he worked. Anybody that can transform things into something else. Again, Fen is in slot 6, has a transformation on her ultimate. I'm not sure. I think Walnut works if she goes into Wolfnut. That's got to be closer to your wall, though. Nixie should work because she transforms into a potted plant. So I think Blushi might. It might work. I haven't tested if it go into her spirit form, if that works or not. Merylwyn might work when she goes into her cat. There's things you could test. But Strix, again, every time you hit Strix's ult, she polymorphs her staff, transforms her staff into something else. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that could work. Again, obviously, rocked mine out. It's done. It's completely done. It was slow at first. I will tell you, it was real slow. I thought it was going to be the last one to get finished. But the thing is it really needs to be done. Like you're going to gain your most progress when you're in a deeper run. That's how this one really works. Unless you have these other champions in who are doing stuff all the time. But Jim can't get his 3 different polymorphs off until you're further into a run. So I got a lot of credit on offline progress. Yeah. All right. Hold on. Lots of follow-ups, but we answered all of that. Tron Hedda, what is your opinion on how Omin and Vi will now affect Azaka farming? I mean, Vi doesn't change. She's still got the same thing. She still turns things into those spheres, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think that's another functional way of separating out a single enemy, is separating out the sphere. But you don't necessarily use her. You then swap her out because she's in Azaka's. But you can pop that sphere, knock it back to the far right of the screen, let the enemies walk up, and then just destroy the enemies, and Azaka farm the crystal. Right? That's always been a thing. Omin, way better. Good lord. Good lord. If you've been using Omin in your whole run, he's going to have so much gold find. It's not even going to be a competition anymore. In my opinion. I've got to test it, but it feels like... Hold on, where are we at right now? I'm already at EO7 gold find. So yeah. With, little under 4,000 stacks. Omin, if you're using Omin the whole time, ridiculous amount of gold by the time we get there. Look, we're already doing E19 buff, folks. EO7 gold find, E19 base buff. Omin gets ridiculous now. Semi-related, Liliantra, I want to do a C-team time gate this weekend. Okay. Which would be best at first? Dinar, Cathris, or Walnut? Dinar. Honestly, and he's the best one currently out of there. They really need to do another Ak Inc. Season at some point in the future that covers the C-team plus Morgaine. But Dinar is really the most functional of the C-team members. Imaginal this. Doing the milestones with Strix's poor hygiene has been a bear. It'll be done in a few hours. Well, then it hasn't really been that hard, has it? Because you're done already and there's 60-something more days left. Stacked a team with AI members. Yeah. Parked them in a Mad Wizard area with a spawner. Added Viconi to the party as the mobs die, spawn undead, kill a new spawn. Oh. Still taking a few days total. That's fast, Imaginal Disc. Please. Please. It's fast. Season 1, it took us a long time to get through this stuff. I finished 5 in a few days. Again, you don't have to farm this stuff. You can just go out and do things and it's going to get done. So, yeah. I don't think any of that is slow at all. If you can finish something before, if you can finish a season, like season quests that are supposed to take the whole season in less than a week, you're fast. Newer players are it's going to take them longer, but they'll still get it. Okay, fine. Learns patient, grows as a person. Yes, that's what we're here for. All right. D2 Crafty One. In order to get the bonus awards, you have to wait to complete the regular awards now, right? Correct. Yeah, you've got to earn your way through the first 60 levels. Then you earn bonus tokens for every level. You can't earn tokens before that. Again, 1 on the free-to-play path, 2 if you buy the season pass. Or 1 if you're free-to-play, 2 if you buy the season pass. Anthalon, would you please join me in griping about the lack of time transition between seasons, especially without a season 4 But the season 4 just ended. Give them a moment to get a survey up. They were busy trying to go back-to-back seasons. And if you don't like it, I don't know. That's fine. They've stated publicly already that seasons are going to be back-to-back going forward. You can talk to them about that, and ask them why. You can do that on Dev Insights. Why did you decide to switch between having a break and not? And maybe they'll answer you. But give them a hot second to get a survey up. Dilton for the win. I'm happy to invest in a season pass, but cannot find it in the shop. If you're on like Epic or a console, it just may not be in there yet. I know they had some issues with Epic with the season pass, so they had to disable it. But I thought they'd fixed it, but maybe they didn't. I don't know. You can buy the season pass at any time, and any rewards all the rewards for the levels you've passed already will just then open up for you. You're not losing anything I'm probably going to wait for a little while before I drop my $10, but I'll still drop my $10. Lady Vengeance, how would you recommend building gym in a mostly melee party? I mean, you just don't go that middle spec. You go one of the other 2 specs. The middle spec is about a magic base attack party, but he works completely functional in any kind of party now. Before it was best in a magic party, but now that's a spec. So just don't use magic specialization and you'll be fine. Zelos, since I can't use Strongheart with Strix's poor hygiene mile quest. Wrong! You can! Again, Strongheart now just needs to be in a background party and he will give credit for every party doing season stuff. This is a recent change. So just make sure your Strongheart is in a background party and leveled up, and you will be getting all of your extra credit. They did this specifically because Strix was arriving in this season. And going forward, they want people to be able to get that credit regardless of whether the season champion is in slot 11 or not. Again, here's the thing, as long as you have Strix, a bunch of Ack Inc. people in, Strix's poor hygiene will reach all the way to the right-hand side, and you'll get credit for everything you kill. Everything you kill will have it in. As long as you get at least these 5 champions in, everything I'm killing is working. It's just the numbers are just a lot of numbers. It's a lot of numbers, folks. Where is it? Yeah, 66,500. It's a lot of numbers. It's more than the enemies you have to spawn with Vi. It's way more than the stacks you need a magical mystery tour. It's just a high number, so you just gotta wait and you'll get there. Again, you've got a whole season to do this. We didn't talk about this. CDR Asmodeus. Rock me, Asmodeus. What is a full dismantle on a champion? Is it something I should consider as a new player? No. No, you should not. So, Full Dismantle is only available for the 5 champions that got reworked. And what it is, if you can click it, it's fine. It will tell you it's taking the feats, all of the paid feats, like the gem feats, off of a champion. It's reducing all your item levels to 1. It's removing any gilding, like so the golden that's shown there. It's removing legendary effects. It's basically taking you down to an epic level 1 item across everything, if you have epics, setting you down to a level 1 item of whatever rarity it is, refunding your feats, and it's giving you all this stuff back. And then you could put that on a different champion. This is specifically available for you in case you don't like the rework. It was specifically for nerfs, because they nerfed Ashara, they changed Ashara, they changed Briv, and they changed Human a long, long time ago. And they put dismantles in because those were 3 champions people had heavily invested and built around. Nowadays, with these reworks, all these champions are just getting straight up buffs. Straight up buffs. So there shouldn't be a reason for you to dismantle. There might be an edge case scenario where you would, in the case of maybe moving around a shiny potion or a golden potion, whatever. But not really. If you're brand new, no. All the other champions get legendary dismantles, so that if you invested heavily into raising legendaries for a certain group, you can go, well, I want to use these other champions now, and then you can move those legendaries around. That's what the dismantles are for. Buffito, how do all these different pigments work now? The same way they did before. We have the damage pigments. We cannot we cannot put all champs pigments onto them. Why not? Now they had a completely different type of pigment? Yeah, there's 4 pigments. If I already put X support pigments on, let's say, Nova, but now I want to have the tank pigments. Then you put those on too. Here's the thing. Whatever pigments are about roles. Whatever role a champion has, that champion's items can have those pigments. So, Evelyn is tanking support. I can put a support pigment on her item, and I can put a tank pigment on her item. She can have both. They just can't have more than one of the same pigment. So like if we look at, where's my Caddy Brie? My Caddy Brie has both the DPS and support pigments. I get both of those boosts. I get both of them. And now if you have a DPS support tank, like nerds, you could have all 3. Please don't. But you could have all 3, right? So whatever roles the champion has, you can put those pigments on. It's not like, oh, I made a bad decision. No. If you wanted that boost on there, you put it on there. You get it. You can then also add another one. Again, we did this earlier. Season Pass should be right here in the shop. Restart your client, restart even your platform that you're playing on, but the Season Pass should be right here. If it's not to the left of the recommended, then they've disabled it on your platform. Potentially? I don't know, but it should be there. If you're on Steam, it's there. So close your client, close Steam completely. Open Steam, re-verify your files for Idle Champions, and then load up Idle Champions. That usually gets it every time. Canellan, if I buy the Season Pass later in the season, will I get those extra tokens retroactively? That's a question for Dev Insights. I know you'd get all the extra rewards in the reward track, but I don't know if you're beyond that and into the token part. I don't know if you get the token ones. You're going to have to ask the devs straight on that one. That question didn't come up that I heard. Does earning a skin in the rewards track give you the champion? No, you're just getting an outfit. It goes in their closet, and when you unlock the champion, you get the skin too. Degozaruyo, do we know if the tanking pigments will also work with the shared HP for the rest of the formation? I have not heard that specific question, but if we look at this, it increases the max health. It doesn't say the max base health. That's a question for Dev Insights. Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't know. Because it doesn't say max base health, it's questionable. Because usually you're sharing the champion's base health. So yeah, that's going to be a Dev Insights question. I'm not sure. Peanut Potamo, now that Chim's chicken got nerfed, what is the best Azaka method for isolation and pilfer stacking? Well, it was never Jim's chicken. A long, long time ago, and I mean like 2 years ago, it was Jim's mimic. But that hasn't been true for a long time either. There's two good ways. There's three ways. It depends on how you're pushing. If you're click debuffing, that'll isolate on its own because of Krull. Otherwise, Krull, because Krull self-isolates via Trader. And Krull is still Krull is still a deep pushing champion in this game, completely viable. His debuff does things that are not reflected in Bud, but are reflected in how far you can push, and it's ridiculous. Alternately, as I was talking about, Vi. You put Vi in when the enemies load. One of them gets turned into a crystal sphere. You pull Vi out. Do a knockback that pushes the sphere back over here, and it'll sit on the ground over here while you kill everything over here. So there's three different ways. Two of them involve Krull. One of them involves Vi. Otherwise, it's real difficult beyond that. But we're getting to the point in the game where I don't feel like it's required for normal play anymore. Azaka farming isn't necessarily a big deal. AJ Scott, if Jim changes the champion's skin and the RNG gods decide to change another skin, can Jim keep changing the same champion's skin? Yes. Yeah, because we saw Omin go... Here, I'm going to pause. We saw Omin go into the Masked Lord Omin, because he is a Masked Lord of Waterdeep, and then switch into Venture Casual Omin on the same area. So he just targets a random person and changes their skin. In regards to Vi from Sure War Eagle, are mobs spawning from orbs, like in Mad Wizard, also in waves, or are they considered 1-1-1? No, they're in waves. Every time enemies spawn, they come out in waves. It doesn't matter where they're spawning from. Any kind of a spawner or just out the right-hand side, they're spawning in waves. It's just a wave can be 1, 2, or 3 enemies normally. It's 5 on a boss level. So it's just getting you to... probably on a regular level, you could probably get to a max of 3 enemies max every time there's a spawn. On a boss level, it brings all 5 instantly together. I know they're usually pretty quickly together, but I mean, it'll be a line, grouped up line. That one got answered. Hold on, folks. Some of these we already answered. Evelyn, what do you think about the potential for switching from Azaka farming to Vi farming? I mean, no, since Crystal Fears are now automatically defeated and drop their gold on area switch. I mean, no, just when you're pushing with Vi, you're picking up that gold. But that's never going to have the same benefit as an Azaka farm, as a focused Azaka farm. Because in the Azaka farm, when you're pushing with Vi, you have a damage formation in. When you're Azaka farming, you're maximizing gold find at the expense of all your damage. So you can't kill anything at that level anymore. And that's the point. So again, I think Azaka farming is still, if you want to be super ultra efficient and you have a incredible Azaka farming formation, which is lots of high gold find, it's still going to be the best way to maximize your gold on a deep run. But in general play, and for most people, until you get to the point where I mean, honestly, in general play, I don't even think Azaka farming is required as much anymore. You might do it when you first hit Baldur's Gate, because it's so hard to get favor there and to pay like high levels of favor for blessings. But there's so much power in the game that your gold just kind of flows right along with it. The only scenarios where Azaka farming now is a lot like if you got a certain amount of favor via Azaka farming, you're gonna have to do it again if you want to keep it, if you want to get that amount again. But I think when I've been doing new player counts, I haven't even Azaka farmed at all, and I've just been tons of favor, all the blessings. It's been fine. So it's becoming a different game. They're kind of making Azaka farming not required, but it's still a bonus if you want to maximize. Calvin and Hobbes, which champion would benefit most from the tanking pigments? I mean, tanks. They can only go on tanks. But which tank champions are only slightly lacking? Well, I don't know that that's... I think what most people... I mean, you're trying to bring all your tanks up to the same level, and I would have to break out my guides and look through them to see how far off some people are. So I don't know off the top of my head. But I think what most people are going to do is they're going to take their already beefy tanks and to make them beefier. Because the issue we have for established accounts is when we're getting to these incredible deep pushes above like 1500 and closing in on to 2000, even the beefiest tanks currently fall over. They fall down, go boom. So these tanking pigments, that's going to be a big deal for them. That's going to allow those people to push further. But I think that applies just about every... as you scale back, it still applies. Because what stops you from progressing really in this game is the health of your tanks. Because you might have damage, but and you might have the ability to ramp up damage. Because remember, the longer a good tank, is going to have ramping buffs based off being attacked. And some champions are going to have ramping buffs by sitting on that level for a while and ramping that buff up. There are a lot of those now, and they're some of the strongest buffs in the game. So it's really about going further is really about keeping your tank line alive as far as possible. You're going to end up putting these tanking champions on those beefy tanks you were already using probably first. Now who is that for you? I don't know. There are a couple high, what I consider viable high-end tanks nowadays. I can tell you where you're not going to want to put them. Do not put them on Kreidel. Kreidel is a tank. But Kreidel is not a health tank. That you could put tanking pigments on Kreidel. They will be wasted. They will be wasted. Kreidel is a dodge tank. Kreidel negates all damage. If you get to the point where Kreidel is taking damage, Kreidel's just going to get and fall over. It's dead. So yeah, not Kreidel. Nerds, probably not nerds. Nerds aren't really, nerds aren't that great. Nerds were never meant to be great. There'll still be people that put you on nerds, but Kreidel, no. Nerds, no. Somebody just said Miria in chat. Does Miria have I don't even know if Miria doesn't tank. No, I would say no, because Miria is a tank, but doesn't tank. She's not tanking based off her health. She's putting zombies up in front of people. I will say, maybe. Because of, she does have health share, and you are killing her. It would give her soul cage buff, I think, isn't it? No, it's the clone buff. It would give her clone buff more wiggle room. Because what happens is she gets a number of clones, and then as the tank is attacked, she's taking most of the damage from the tank. So yeah, I would say if you're using Miria, tanking pigment on Miria would be good. What happens is she's taking most of the damage, and when she dies, she's replaced with a clone over and over and over. And the more she dies, the bigger she buffs the party. But it can be a very tight window of power towards the end. So if you can extend that window by giving her more health, that would actually not be a bad thing. So yeah, I would say Miri is still a target. Krydle, no. 100% no. Nerds, but Krydle's 100% no. Krydle's 100% no. All right. General questions. General questions, sir. AJ Scott, if a rare item, blue, is shiny, and you later find the item is epic, will that be shiny as well? Yes. Gilding sticks around, so you could shiny a white item. I've seen people pull a level 1 white shiny out of a chest before for the first item they ever got on somebody. That shiny sticks around forever. It's the gilding stays. Absolutely. Just like your item levels, they stay too. Joe B, is there an average DPS you should see when attempting Exalted Master Trials? Exalted Master. What am I on? I'm an Exalted Legend. I can't remember how much lower that is. I mean, you want a lot. I don't. Your numbers don't make any sense to me, though. It's not tier 10. I'm on tier 10. I think I'm on tier 10. Isn't Exalted Legend tier 10? One level lower. Look, here's the thing with trials. You're not doing it by yourself. You're not doing it by yourself. You're doing it with a group. Giggity. It's about what your group can put up. It's about what your group can put up together. And it's about how many of those daily quests you can complete. You want a nice, solid contribution on day one. You do. But that's not what we're necessarily talking about. If you'll note here, my damage contribution on day one, a little lower than usual. I got rough. Wiz 10 is rough for me. I'm 481. That's fine. My group can handle that. We can still beat it. I've usually over a fight in the 540s. There's some people that are closer to like 600 or higher in this group. Some people haven't finished their runs yet. But I'm going to be fine because I know I'll be able to punch out all 7 of those dailies if I need to. But more importantly, I know this is a pre-made. I know that that we can do this without an entire person showing up. So let's say Chris just has a rough week and can't log in. Been there. We can 4-person this. We did last week. There were only 4 of us in, and we completed it on day 6. And I totally forgot about 2 days. So it's not so much about like, you don't need some ridiculous, amount here. It's about like, can everybody pull their weight? And some weeks you're gonna pull your weight, and some weeks you're gonna be pulled. That's just the way trials works. I would say, I don't even know. You want to finish it with a decent amount of time, you're probably going to need 400 or higher DPS if it's tier 9. Again, we can do this in like 5 days if all 5, 4 or 5 days if all 5 of us are here and can do all 5 days. It's fast. 4 or 5 days total. But some weeks we don't. So I don't know. I don't know what like the minimum DPS contribution for a single person should be, because that's not really how trials works. Because it's going to vary. You're going to get a different contribution depending on the restrictions you get, right? So just keep working on boosting the best to the best of your ability. Take those scales, invest them into legendaries on those teams, and then level those legendaries up. There's a ton of power in leveling them up, and work on that. Bakamito, I'm kind of new to the game. Welcome. So no, silver chests are not for these champions. Correct. Silver and regular gold are not for these champions. So like these regular silver, regular gold chests, these are all event champions. These all arrived in an event. They're season champions now, but they arrived in an event, which means their items come from like these gold chests, like gold Ack Ink chests or gold named chests for them. This season isn't going to provide you with silver chests for them. Only time gates do that. So the way you want to get lower level items for them, if you want to fill those out first and do a little gear up efficiently, is you open Electrums. Electrums will focus those these new season champions you're unlocking. But you get the silvers from time gates, and Electrums will work on them too. Okay, Electrums will work on them too. I made it through all 26 questions. I am a god, and my voice is gonna fall over and go boom. Luckily, I'm going to take about an hour break here, and then I'm going to be streaming on my channel in about an hour, Twitch TV/Gaarawarr. You can see how it's spelled right there. I'll also type in chat, so you can just click it and click follow. Well, probably 30 minutes to an hour. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to go get something to eat and get back. I'm going to be playing some Baldur's Gate 3. I'm playing through with my OC, Gaarawarr Grudgekeeper, so you can watch me do the dwarf thing. It's Model Champions with, Lizelle's been hanging out in camp. Because Karlach is my bae. But you can see Asterion, who's coming to Idle Champions on Wednesday. He's in my party, doing the stealth thing. One last question. Queasy D, are there season-long potions or scrolls? No, not season-long. There's week-longs, but not season-long. No. The potions, these say until adventure is complete. That's just your adventure you're on. This is a week-long, so they last for 7 days. The seasons last 70 days. They're not giving us potions for that. Instead, they just give you these buffs. And you can see them on the buff page. These are the season-long buffs. And these are earned by leveling up in the season. Leveling up in the season. Yeah. All right. That's it, folks. Thank you to Gabe for pulling all the questions. Thank you to all of you for asking all the questions. Again, no more streams on this channel until Monday. Actually, there's going to be Monday the 4th. Fires off Idle Champions Anniversary Week. There will be all kinds of anniversary stuff going on in-game and out starting on Monday, and they're going to be streaming for it, which is not normally a thing because Monday's a holiday, and they don't normally stream on Mondays. So tune in on Monday. They'll drop a schedule as probably on Monday. There's also, if you want to get a sneak peek at Asterion, nobody asked about Asterion today. Asterion's blog, I think, is up already over on the Codename Entertainment site. Yes, it is. Hold on, I'll drop that link in chat so you can go take a look at the bitiest of boys, who's arriving on Wednesday, Monday if you're on Steam, but Wednesday for everybody else. And I will see you either in the half an hour or so over on my channel or on Monday when I'll be streaming. I normally stream on Mondays on my channel. I'll be streaming somewhere on Monday. Find out then. Have a great weekend, everybody. We're going out with the song I Love Waterdeep because Omin's a Master Lord of Waterdeep. Bye, everybody.
That you can. I look out to up, I see the griffins flying by. You know the city's safe by land, sea, and sky. Water deep, city that never sleeps. Water deep, crown of the north. Water deep, see the treasure beneath. Water deep, found what you were. The beauty of my home is seen in every war. Just walk these ancient streets and see what we've adorned. But this antique city hides beneath centuries of history buried deep. There's a port of skulls westwards towards the sea. A lawless outpost run by